Network on the campus of Farmingdale State College, the site of this Long Island Class A Boys Soccer Championship. We got a thriller in Class B with Carl Place taking down Babylon for the third straight year. Perhaps this one will be even better. Robert Anderson, my partner in crime. I'm Gavin Shaw, as we have John H. Glenn High School, the Knights, taking on the Floral Park, you guessed it, the Knights as well. It is a medieval duel. John Glenn, 15-2-1. Floral Park, 12-3-1. We will start with the home team, the champs out of Nassau County. Robert Anderson, you are certainly familiar with their work. What does Floral Park bring to the table?
Floral Park is a team that can get a lot of different looks. What Coach Rodney has done this year is take a team full of lunch pail, gritty athletes and turn them into technically savvy players. So close last year to getting to this spot. This year, the technicality, the way they move the ball, and the physicality that's never left is the key to their success.
They got into this final a 2-0 win over Lawrence. You were on the call for that one. And on the other side of things, a little bit of revenge for Glenn. A year ago, their season ended in the Suffolk Class A semis, a 2-1 loss to Kings Park. They avenged that with a 4-3 victory after another tough regular season game against Kings Park, a 1-0 win over Miller Place in the semis. They have been skirting by the skin of their teeth, and yet one of the most talented teams in Suffolk County.
They absolutely are. And Coach Lou Hanner saying that this is a team that just comes together on the field, on and off. A lot of leadership, veterans, and another team that plays, I don't want to say filthy soccer, but they're not scared to muck it up. These two can mirror each other in so many ways, and we're also going to be looking at two goalkeepers that can do very dynamic things. Tyler Zeminski for John Glenn, one of the most athletic guys you'll see, and Oscar Dalton stood on his head in the last round to get Floral Park here today.
And plenty of stars galore on both sides of things, though for John Glenn, arguably their top talent, Eli Till, missing the entire season, 17 goals last year, makes it even more incredible they've reached this stage. But a couple different guys stepping up in terms of their goal scoring, none more than Cooper Casson. What does he bring to the table?
Yeah, Cooper Casson is only a junior, so the investment is a whole nother year. Coach said that he's one of those guys that has a nose for the net. He plays a very simple game. When he overcomplicates it, he gets a little frustrated with Cooper. But when Cooper keeps that game simple, he's so savvy with the ball. He can finish anywhere. Had a big PK in the finals, 18 goals and 8 assists on the season. He can score.
And on the other side of things for Floral Park, it's that dynamic duo. They have Aiden Conlon second in Nassau County in assists, and then Ned Devine 18 goals on the season. He's often on the other side of those passes.
Yeah, they are a fun team to watch that way. Ned Devine, one of those guys, and you'll see tonight, Gavin, he gets space, he can shoot, he can get a ball from anywhere. He's quick off the ball, first step, and he's one of those guys that John Glenn's going to defend against. John Glenn does play a little bit of a man defense and plans on marking up Devine.
So it's John Glenn in the blue and white. It's Floral Park in the black, white, red trim as we are underway here on the NFHS Network. We thank you for joining us in what should be a fantastic 80-minute affair, or maybe more.
And Suffolk County looking to push their first one past the Long Island Championship right now, as you alluded to. I'll let you get to the action, Gav.
Yeah, instead it's Floral Park threatening in the opening moments, and that was an excellent cover-up by Tyler Zeminski, maybe another name we should have mentioned in the Floral Park Stars. He's returning All-State League Keeper of the Year this past season, 13 shutouts on the season, and he was not about to allow a goal in the first 30 seconds.
Now, but Floral Park bringing it early, and you got to love it. So Nassau pushing through in the AA Garden City Trojans. Moving on, and they're going to play a regional game in Tappan Zee tomorrow. And that's playing versus Tappan Zee at Byram. And then the Bees, Nassau County, pushing through earlier today. Carl Place Frogs, and they're moving on.
Yeah, home run ball that time for Michael Donovan. He's also had a very effective season with 6 goals and 7 assists. Trying to center this ball, nearly getting there in time, was Aiden Conlon. Man, inches away from really threatening Zeminski in the opening seconds as Floral Park has come out with their hair on fire. And what a quick touch that time. And now put right to Zeminski from Ned Devine. Or, excuse me, from Sam Amirati that time.
Yeah, it was Amirati. Not getting a lot on the ball to create any kind of rebound, but giving a little pressure early here, and we can put 2 shots in net, 2 scoring opportunities now for Floral Park in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, how do you feel about that from Akil Rodney pushing up his left back and Amorati that far in the opening minutes? They're trying to sneak one in on John Glenn.
Yeah, you don't see anybody more confident out there than Coach Rodney. We talk every single day about his team, and let me tell you, he is stoked for this position, and he said we're going to come out quick.
Yeah, flat out one of the best coaches in Nassau County in terms of technical ability and certainly in terms of resume. Was a high school All-American back in his time at Elmont before being one of the top recruits in the nation going on to play at the University of Virginia. Or certainly one of the top recruits to come out of New York State.
Out of New York State is right, yeah. Elmont High School graduate, district that I'm in, and he's still working in the district, right? Elmont grad and Floral Park coach and Sewantica teacher.
That is a great trump card. If you ever have a player talk back to you to say, hey, I had 74 goals and 52 assists in high school. Hit those numbers, and then we can talk. No, he's a player's coach. So that's taken by Connor McCarthy. McCarthy looking for a cut, and Zeminski already has had to make 2 or 3 saves less than 3 minutes in. Floral Park has put the pedal down, and they have not lifted their foot.
They certainly have, putting pressure on early in this game and looking like a team possessed right now.
Yeah, Roberts, coming in, you were speculating that if you had to give an edge, John Glenn might be the more talented group. Floral Park, though, you come out with the right intensity and focus. They have been dominant in the early going.
You also got to keep in mind, too, that Floral Park, they did play a game at Jericho High School, but they've played on this field for Suffolk. They're coming to Nassau County. It's a big field. It's a college field. They play their games on high school fields at Pat Med, and they do the Diamond in the Pines. Those fields, nothing like this. It's wider. It's bigger. Bright lights. So we'll see if they're just making a little adjustment period.
Yeah, you see the same thing in basketball every year where they pivot to the college court. It sometimes throws players off for a couple of minutes. And it's this weird balance where you certainly want the best stage and the biggest crowd, but you're also inherently with the wider field, you're altering what the sport is, and it can favor an underdog sometimes if it fits their style of play a little bit more, or it can make a favorite an even more overwhelming favorite. So lefty kick chopped up by McCarthy, looking for Devine. Again, Devine on the season, 18 goals, 5 assists, 41 points. Plays high up the field, started as a freshman. So 4-year starter, part of the culture change these past few seasons at Floral Park.
Yeah, Devine, again, one of the top goal scorers in his conference. Top goal scorers in Nassau County. And I mentioned this last time. A buddy of mine growing up and the father of the Cannon twins who were instrumental in Floral Park's run last year, Tom Cannon, predicts Ned is going to score today.
That's a good bet. You know, they've played, 15 games all year? He has 18 goals? I take even odds on that, right? Well, we'll see if FanDuel has anything.
I told Tommy I got to mention him every broadcast.
That's a good bit of hustle there by Michael Cherry to ensure that ball doesn't become a threat, and Floral Park looks to get on their horse again. Instead, Glenn taking it back. Isaac Perez had it for a moment. Perez, another one of those goal scorers against Kings Park. And then not the best first touch from Connor McCarthy that time.
No, a little heavy on the touch there. And another thing that Coach Rodney did point out to me, too, is he believes that he might have a speed advantage. So we'll see if he can take advantage of that. He's got some guys that can run. And they can also run for 80 minutes, as well-conditioned as you're going to have a team.
Floral Park out and racing early. They have certainly burnt some of their reserves of energy in the first couple of minutes. Donovan couldn't quite get free, so leaves it for McCarthy, who sends in a cross. And great hustle by Zeminski, pacing his way out of the net to ensure that didn't become a threat.
And that was Davin Lee putting a little physicality on him. He's the captain, senior defender back there. And, man, Coach has a lot to say about Davin Lee, an all-state runner in the 200-meter. He's an academic all-conference guy, 4.0 average.
He jumped up a grade, right?
He jumped up a grade. Yeah, he's getting one less year of soccer because he's too smart.
That's like going into the NBA out of high school and winning an MVP right away. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, I had to love Coach Tanner's enthusiasm when he spoke about Davin just a special kind of athlete, a special kind of kid.
Yeah, coaches, you love to have that on your team because even if they're not your best player, and Davin Lee is an excellent player, and certainly you mentioned his track and field, he's an elite athlete out there, all-state 200-meter guy. They can be role models for everyone on your team in terms of how to act, how to comport yourself, and how to take care of business in the classroom. As John Glenn picks up a foul, and Floral Park will have the ball just inside the 8th minute, still 0-0. As you're watching the Long Island Class A Championship game exclusively on the NFHS Network.
And that call made by our center referee, Kenny Heller. He's a veteran in this situation, veteran in Nassau County.
Connor McCarthy. Oh, that's a nice ball. One more kick. Could not get there. A golden opportunity that time for Floral Park. They got on the right foot of Ned Devine, about 7 feet out, and he couldn't turn it.
Yeah, Devine in a good spot there. And just like you said, couldn't convert, but that's the guy you want to find.
So winner of this game will take on the winner on the other side of the bracket, Our Lady of Lourdes and Owego Free Academy doing battle up at Union Endicott High School. That game will be played tomorrow at 6 p.m., so one slot will be in. Today will be Floral Park. Man, they have threatened a lot early. Already 4 shots on goal, and this one could go in! 1-0, Floral Park, as it was put in by Aiden Conlon.
You got it, Aiden Conlon, just pinpoint accuracy. Gavin, he didn't try to blast it, right? We're not trying to go top 90. We're not trying to pretend like we're playing FIFA. He just put the ball in the right spot, created his own space. Looked like maybe a little communication problem with the defenders as they backed off, but Conlon bangs the first one in, and the Knights are on their horse.
Comes at 8 minutes and 11 seconds. Man, Floral Park, we kept saying it. They got the better of the play early, shot after shot. Just a level of energy, focus, clinical precision that we have not quite seen from John Glenn yet. And Aiden Conlon, too. But what stood out to me there was the patience on that shot, right? Like he knew he had the opening. He knew he had a step. He didn't rush it and put it home. And an injured Knight down, to clarify, John Glenn Knight. So we will pause the clock at 31:20.
This is a good time for me to talk about Coach Tanner.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so Coach Tanner, 30 years on the job, 27 at John Glenn, and he played 3 years at Oneonta from 90 to 92. Coaches Association president for 18 years, so it's a guy who sits at the table, and he's got some kids at home. He's got Kyle, who's a senior at Oswego, starting center back, 4-year player over there. Lost to Cortland Saturday and is out of the playoffs. And he's got twins, son Dylan, Suffolk, community college sophomore, phys ed major, and the assistant coach on the team. And then his daughter, Gianna, sophomore at Oneonta women's soccer team, who lost Wednesday. So right now, Coach had both his kids out of the playoffs, and he's looking to get his team through, and you know they're rooting him on to make a comeback here versus this Floral Park team.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a house bet. First one off has to take out the garbage for a month. That would almost be adding insult to injury. It should be whoever goes the furthest takes out the garbage.
I love it, though. It's a family that's all involved. You know they're playing, and his son Dylan and assistant coach on the team. It's a family affair.
Ball taken out of the air by Cooper Casson. And he'll send a home run ball out to Jack Zeminski, trying to get there. His counterpart at number 3, Diego Bueno, making Bueno play that time to get to the ball first.
Yeah, Jack Zeminski, a Met Oval athlete. He is a 1v1 beast, and he was taken down in the Miller Place game that created that PK goal for them to win the game. Younger brother of Tyler Zeminski on the team.
Bueno, a guy with a great work rate. Brings a lot to the table on varsity since 10th grade. A lot of humility, never takes credit, but always in the right position to make a play. Here we go, John Glenn with the throw-in. Will come from James Mossy. See how far he can chuck it. Sneaks by the first layer of defense. Chance to tie. Lefty boot on it by Zeminski. Still alive inside the box. And now Floral Park looking to clear. As it went off, I believe, Anderson Hinkie that time.
And that shot might have had a fortuitous bounce off Diego Bueno's head in the box. But a clear shot looked like there was a path, but the defense getting in the way. And something else that they can do, Gavin, on this Floral Park team is just stuff the box. Create a lot of traffic so nothing gets through. They work hard.
You were telling me before Floral Park is one of the best coached teams you see in Nassau County. What do they do differently from other programs?
I'd say it's the work ethic. I think that it's just like this constant preparation and learning from every single game, even if it's not theirs.
That's a great touch out of the air. I mean, an underrated play by Connor McCarthy to poke at it, then sends it long, and Zeminski, you can imagine he's seething, having conceded a goal, and takes out his energy on the ball. What a throw. He did a flip.
We'll talk about that later, too. The cat's out of the bag already. You got to see the throw on him every time. It's further than the boot.
It's like Ryan Leary in goal, but here comes McCarthy again. He's hungry. He wants a second one. Tripped up. Good bit of defending there from Ethan Alkali. And now McCarthy will get a chance wide. Lefty into the box. No one home.
Yeah, so the scouting report said you got to watch out for that throw from Tyler Zeminski. So Floral Park can't be on their heels when they run back. They can't have to turn around and get ready for that quick toss up the field. So they got to be on their toes every single time he makes a save.
What was the front flip in the scouting report? My God, the amount of torque he generated to pull that off.
Yeah, it's something to see. I'll tell you, highlight reel all the time.
He should play with a helmet if you're going to be doing that. That's scary.
Coach said he's a basketball player for a long time, and then all of a sudden cashed the chips in and went soccer all the way, and you can see why.
You know what? If soccer doesn't work out, he's a future doing those mascot dunks at halftime of an NBA game. Nice move by Glenn. Oh, if that cross got through, wide open was James DeAngeli streaking in, just couldn't get it to him.
Yeah, Sam Amorati breaking that play up.
I mean, that is a goal-saving stop for Amorati. Right place, right time. DeAngeli, I think, timed his run perfectly. That kick just had to have a little bit more arc on it. Easier said than done, though. Ball caught up in the wind a little. So here's Alfaro battling. This John Glenn team is really deep. You talk to Coach Hanner, and he'll tell you guy after guy who have been contributors this year. And there's a hit ahead, trying to get it to Donovan. Donovan tripped up just outside the box. What's the call?
And we might have a flag. It's going to be a stoppage of the clock. They stopped the clock. So we'll see if it's an injury or a flag or a card. And it looks like a yellow in the hand of official Kenny Heller. And he's going to send off Peter Bell.
Bell, an all-league defender, so key loss for the sequence. Donovan going to get looked at, so we will step aside for just a sec here on the NFHS Network.